before you get into those major conversations, remember to regulate yourself. Now, sometimes you can't pre-regulate because you're like, yeah, this thing just came up right now. I can't fucking like be grounded in this particular moment. I'm triggered. So if you can't pre-regulate, you can use, and I teach this in my trigger formula in the Gauntlet session, because again, this is part of the same process of triggers and being triggered. Try and ground yourself. So breath work is the best way to regulate beforehand, because then you can actually control your breathing, and you can, through your respiratory system. So scientifically and neuroscientifically, your nerves that are connected in your lungs, so the nerves that run through your lungs into your brain, they actually have like a direct path, because they're connected to your heart and they're also connected to your brain, to tell your brain that you're stressed. So the moment you actually feel stressed, the first thing that'll happen is you'll start breathing short and your heart will start racing faster, right? Everybody knows that. This is the scientific fact. Okay. So what's magical about this is you can actually manipulate your brain into thinking you're calm by manipulating your breathing, because it's the same nerves that are connected through your heart and into your head, which is why you guys may have heard of the Wim Hof breathing, the ice baths and all of that. What they actually do is they slow down your heart rate, because your body's so cold, it doesn't need to pump that much blood. So you're teaching your body now how to have a lower heart rate, higher heart rate variability, be less stressed, etc. So breathing, doing the box breathing before you have to get into a big discussion, is a good way for you to be able to calm your brain down through your breathing to say, okay, no stress hormones for me right now. I'm getting ready to completely show up in the moment. Let's say you can't do the breathing. You can do something called grounding. Grounding is the principle of being physically present, because think about it. What's actually fucking you up when you're triggered is not actually the trigger, but what the trigger reminds you of, right? So it's basically your attachment to what the trigger is bringing up from your past that's freaking you out in the present moment. So really what's happening is it's your brain just telling you a story in that moment that's screwing with you. So the best thing you can do is to push yourself directly into the present moment and to invalidate that story. Physically, you can do this by, if you have like a set of keys in your pockets, if your hands on your pockets or anything, try and sense whatever you have. Your fingers have a lot of sensory receptors. So try and sense whatever you can, maybe your keys, maybe something in your pocket. Try and really listen to it by like tuning your senses into that. So what you're doing right now is you're getting really grounded, and you're not trying to focus on the fear or the threat of what's coming in. You're trying to focus on your existence of where you are. So you're trying to move away from like that threat or the fear or the anxiety of what's coming on. You're being really present. Another way is if you're barefoot, to feel your feet against the ground, try and clench your feet against the ground or like whatever surface you're on. You can do it visually as well by like, if you're talking to someone, instead of just focusing on them. And I know this is like goes against a little bit of the principle of active listening, but it is difficult to active listen if you're very triggered. So while they're speaking, just observe them. Observe maybe their hair, their clothes, anything. So you're looking at them, but focus on them and not necessarily what their words or what the fear of their words are saying to you, because that's where the trigger is coming from. If you can focus on things in and around you, try and pay attention. The more you pay attention to things in the present moment in detail, the more you're getting grounded. So those things will tend to like regulate you more. Now, what if you're not even able to do that and you're like having this massive level of conversation? The biggest and best thing I like to do is to hold back my reaction. Even if I feel like, yes, you got to fucking do something right now, man, because you got to make yourself feel heard. You've got to say what you really need to say right now. You got to like give them a piece of your mind. Hold back on your reaction. If you're capable of holding back on it for the first like 15 to 20 seconds, they actually say 17 seconds apparently is like what your brain really needs to send you in a loop. So if you're able to hold back for 17 to 20 seconds, you've already gone through step one of disarming your reactive process. What that can look like is counting. That's why people actually say count to 10. I would say count to like maybe 20 or count to 10 really slowly, like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, do shit like that. Whatever can get you really like grounded in that moment, because it's amazing. But again, if you delay the neural reactivity of your brain, it won't step into the immediate path that it always gets into. So this is a really cool way. You can try it on your own, take your time with it. Don't say anything. Don't even say like, give me a minute, nothing. Just, actually, that's not true. Sit with whatever you're feeling. But if they're asking you to respond, then say, okay, I need a minute. Another good way is if you're in a discussion where you know you're going to blow up and it's like really intense, ask for space. Ask for space and say, okay, I really need a minute right now because the way I'm going to react right now is not going to help. I need a minute. Someone who's safe, secure, and capable of holding space for you will completely understand. Someone who's frustrated will be like, no, you need to talk to me about this right now. You can't go anywhere else. Again, remember I told you that's like our codependent reactions in conflict. But someone who knows you need a minute will say, okay, why? Because they're more interested in how the conversation can lead constructively. They're more interested in how it can lead to a good outcome for both of you. So if you say, I need my space, I need to get away, I need a minute, they'll be like, okay, I'll be sitting here, but please, a minute or two, because we really need to have this conversation right now. So that way, both of you get what you need. You go away, go to the bathroom, go take space for whatever you need to do, and breathe. Breathe, regulate, because your stress hormones are actually what's pushing you to react. So all of this is about the regulatory aspect in this. Take your space, take your moment.
Hey, and welcome to the Inner Yats YouTube page. If you like our content, make sure you click the like and the subscribe button so that you get more of these amazing videos that keep coming your way.